back to the channel. This morning I am doing a updated morning routine. I have been asked this many times, and I was a little hesitant to do it because it seems that a lot of people have issues with the way that I clean Stassi's face in the mornings. But I realized that, you know what, that is their issue and not mine. So if you do not like the fact that I clean her face in the morning or the way that I clean her face in the morning, please feel free to skip this video. And this is for the people who do enjoy cleaning their dog's faces and would like to know how I clean Stassi's face in the mornings. Now, as I said in my last video, I am not really doing the full face cleaning every morning now that her face is not getting quite as dirty with the tear stains. But we still do this usually about 3 to 4 times a week. So this is basically how she usually looks when she wakes up in the morning, which is a little bit of a mess. So the first thing that I do is I give her a quick comb out. Now I use a Christensen Buttercomb to do this. And remember that I am also combing her out every evening. So this is just sort of a quick comb out in the mornings to get her looking nice and neat again. Now, one of the things that I love using is the Premium Show Pet Grooming Royal Treatment Brushless oil. It's got marula oil in it, and I think that it does a great job with static electricity. As you can see, I put this note on here from my pet sitter, used for static electricity. And I think that it does a great job. You don't need a whole lot of this. You can spray it directly on your comb or brush, or you can spray it on their coat. And we're just going to comb her out and get all of those little knots that have accumulated throughout the night. It is crazy how fast knots will accumulate just overnight. And especially with her hair being so long. I just want to start kind of at the base of where the hair is. Let me get this part. And then go all the way down to the end. I go over each section a couple of times. Okay, baby. Get her front. Underneath her neck and her front paws. Underneath those armpits. This is where your knots will accumulate. So you have to be really careful and brush those areas at least once a day. I'm kind of at a really awkward angle right now, so I'm trying to get her in the shot so that you can see everything, but I am at a really bad angle right now. I always hold her hair or her skin, this is her ear actually, up at the top when I am combing. That way it's not tugging at her skin or her ear or whatever it is I'm combing. I knew that I had a knot right there, so I hold it kind of firmly right there. That way she doesn't feel it and I'm just tugging on the hair and not her skin. All So as you can see, it pulls out a lot of undercoat here, which basically that's, you know, what gets kind of knotty is that undercoat. I'm gonna stand her up. Oh, come here. Nice angle of her butt. Again, I'm holding her leg. We have a little knot right here. All right, got that. All right, so you get the idea. Basically, I go around her entire body with the comb. And usually at nighttime is when I get her underbody really good. I usually just lie on the bed while I'm watching TV and comb out her underneath really well. All right, so once we get her all nice and combed out, then comes the face part. So I am using one of my pillows. Actually, it's the only one I have. It is small, a small size, from the Etsy company Diva Pet Dog Wait, let me say. It's Diva Dog Boutique, and you can find this on Etsy, and this is the small size. Stassi is 10 pounds, and it fits her really well. It's the same size that I've had since she was a puppy. So, and it still fits her really well. She is very, very used to her grooming pillow because this is something that we do all the time, and I have done this since she was a little puppy. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you get her to be so still? How does she do that? Well, she was very, very used to it. Her breeder, who is an awesome breeder, started this with her when she was just weeks old. And then I continued when I got her at 12 weeks. So she, you know, has been very, very used to it. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting out the bands of her top knot. I am using a little scissors here. It's got a little hook on the end. And then all I do is hook the little rubber band underneath the little hook of the scissors, and I pull it out to make sure that I'm not cutting her hair. And I take those bands out like that. All right, so once I take her band out, then I am able to comb the top part of her hair. Now this time I am using the Christensen little face comb. It's a little Buttercomb. I love it. It works really good for combing the top part of the hair, and then also around the eyes and around the mustache. So I comb this hair down and then this hair up. Now, if you notice, I do keep Stassi's area right here shaved, and I do have a video on that. If you go through the grooming playlist and just search how to shave the lip or something like that, and it'll come up. So I think that it keeps it nice and neat and much, much cleaner as well. So I also will go over her ears one more time. So now she's starting to look a little bit more presentable. The next thing that I do is I use this Nutrivet eye rinse for dogs. I buy this on Amazon to just clean out any kind of gookiness that may have settled in her eyes overnight. It's just a really good eye wash. It was designed by veterinarians, and I have been using this for months now, for a long time, probably at least a year. So I just squirt some of that in her eyes. And then the next thing that I use is this Christensen Peace and Kindness Colloidal Silver. Now this is the thing that I mentioned in the last video that I think is really helping her eyes to not tear as much. And when they do tear, I don't feel like they're staining her fur nearly as much. So this is a little bit harder to find. You can find it on Amazon, but you can also look at Christensen's website and purchase it directly from there. Not only is this really good to use in the eyes, but it has a lot of different uses for it. You can use it on any kind of skin irritations, hot spots, pretty much all kinds of stuff. It says on the back here, ear infections, fungus, hot spots, cuts, scrapes, open sores, itchy areas, bug bites, just a whole lot of things, yeast infections, and that's why I think that this works so well. I have also in the past have actually sprayed it on the fur, and I really feel like that got rid of the red yeast. So if you do have a staining problem already, you can also try spraying it on the fur. But right now what I do is I spray it directly in her eye, and I just hold her eye open like that, and I give her one little squirt there, and then I hold the other eye open and I give her one little squirt there. And then I will do it again, because usually I like to do 2 squirts in each eye. All right, so that's basically it. So that's how you give this, and just spritz their little eyes with this Peace and Kindness, and I think that that really helps. So once I do that, then I will use my Show Premium Clarity No Rent Stain Remover. And I just take a little bit of a paper towel. I use Viva paper towels on her because they're very, very soft. And she's allergic to cotton, so this has no cotton in it because it's just made with, like, I guess from trees. So I just really douse my paper towel, and then I will just clean around the fur. And I kind of take it in between and just wipe the little areas where she may have teared. I just go through that like that. All right. And then the next thing that we have to do is we have to dry the face. Now I know that a lot of people don't like when I do this. I promise you it is not hurting her. She is just fine, and she is very, very used to it. I use a Conair 1875. It's just a little hair dryer that I bought off of Amazon. I like it because it has the cool button right here, and that is the button that I hold down while I am drying her face. She closes her eyes and she is very, very used to it. So we're gonna do this now to dry this area off. Okay, as you could see, when I was drying her, I was using my fingers to kind of go through the hair. I find that's easier than using the comb while I'm holding the hair dryer, but it helps the hair to dry quicker if you are moving it around. You will also notice that her hair was over her eyes the entire time so that the air is not going directly in her eyes. Even when her hair wasn't this long though, she knew to close her eyes, and she has been just fine. All right, so now, and as you can see, she loves her pillow. She just lays on it very, very nicely and calmly. So she doesn't mind this grooming routine at all. So now I am just putting the hair back where it goes. She needs a bath right now, so she could be a little cleaner looking, but I was gonna, do this morning, and I wanted to film it for you guys because so many people have been asking for an updated morning routine. Okay, so once you put the hair back where it belongs, meaning that this hair goes back on her forehead, and then this hair is parted down the middle of her nose and then goes down each side of her face. The next thing that I do is I use the drying powder. Now, I switched over to this drying powder here. It is by a company called Page One. I'm not sure, I will leave the link to this company. I'm not sure if it's page1.com or page1petproducts.com, but it's Page One eye powder. I just keep it in this little container here. The Paw Marks is another great drying powder, but I've just been using this one, so this is the one that I'm gonna use this morning. I just use a little cosmetic brush, and I think that the drying powder is definitely necessary because you want to make sure that this area stays nice and dry, and that's what the drying powder does. So I just basically put this in the areas that would get wet if she would tear. So that's how I apply that, just in those little areas. And this drying powder just helps to wick away the moisture from the hair so that it doesn't soak into the hair and have like yeast or bacteria growing in that fur. One of the things that I was worried about when I first was looking into getting a Shih Tzu is I didn't want a Shih Tzu at first because I thought that they all had stinky faces, because I know that from talking with groomers, a lot of groomers say, oh my goodness, don't get a Shih Tzu, their faces stink so bad. Well, I can tell you that you can put your face right up to Stassi's face and you will not smell anything at all but yummy goodness. So she doesn't stink at all, and it's because I do keep that area really, really nice and clean. And that is why these daily face washes are so important. It is much better to have them go through a grooming routine like this rather than to live with yeast and bacteria that is on their face, which could get in their eyes and cause eye infections, which is also very, very common in Shih Tzus. But I am happy to say that because of the way that I groom her every day, she has never had an eye infection, and she has long hair. Her hair has never been cut anywhere on her face. So I do believe that a lot of the eye infections do come from poor hygiene and from not keeping this area extremely clean. So while some people may not agree with this grooming routine, it is very, very important for the health of your dog. Okay, so once I get this all done, then it is time to do the top knot. Now, I did notice that she does have some stubble here. So while I have you here, I will just go ahead and just show you how I clean this little area up. I use this Wahl trimmer. It's a little personal trimmer. I believe I got it off of Amazon. I got it a long time ago, so I'm not really sure. So I just clean that up just a little bit. And I usually do that probably at least once a week, twice a week, because I would rather do a little bit at a time, because it is, you know, a little bit noisy, and so sometimes she's a little bit jumpy, but she handles it really well. Okay, so then the next thing that I'm going to do is put her top knot in. Now I use the Armco Penguin rubber bands. I got these off of eBay. They are orthodontic bands in the 5/16 of an inch. When I am doing piggy tails, then I will use the 1/4 inch, which is the Armco Fox. You can use any bands that you would like, but these are the bands that I use, and I have been using these since I got her. And as you can see, they will probably go dry rot before I use the rest of these because they came in bulk. So I got out 3 bands, and I am going to put just a regular top knot in. So I start at the outer corner of the eye on both sides, and I gather up a section of hair. Now you want to make sure that this section is not too thick, because then the top knot will just be too far back. So you don't want this area very thick at all. So I look at it kind of from the opposite side to make sure that I'm not taking too much hair. Now using your little face comb on the narrow section of the comb, I just back tease it a little bit. And then I will use the wide section of the comb to loosely just smoothen it out. I did want to mention, in case any of you do not know, I am not a groomer and I am not a show person. So this is just me doing what I do with Stassi and just sharing it with you guys. So I am not perfect, and this may not be the right way to do things, but it's the way I do things. So, all right, so then I take one of my 5/16 bands and I wrap it twice. And then this makes a nice little poof. I kind of spread it out like that. And then I will take the very back piece, just one little section, with my right hand. I'm right-handed, by the way. And I will hold the band with my left hand. I will pull up on this back section here. I know you can't see, I'm sorry, but it's this little back section here. I'll pull up while I am pushing the rubber band to her scalp with my left hand. This just makes a nice little domed poof right here. So that is the first section. Next, I will do the back section. All right, so I will take a section that's the same width as the front section. This section's just a little bit thicker though, because it's going to go back to the base of her skull. And I hold this up. If you can see right there, this is the back section. And I'm going to put a band on this section. And again, her hair is long and thick now, so I only wrap it twice. I'm just separating the back from the front because sometimes little hairs get caught up in between. All right, and then I do the same thing as I did with the front section, except I do it the opposite. So I take a little piece of hair in the front of this back section, and I take it with my right hand, and then with my left hand, I push down and I pull up with the other section, which brings these two sections closer together. The next thing that I do is I place her bow. Now I use both of the rubber bands. You don't have to, you can just use one. I just find that it lies better for me if I use both of them. I put both of the bands around my fingers. I grab this front section only, and I grab it with my finger here. Can you see that there? I grab the piece of hair and then I bring the piece of hair over, and the bow just sits on there just like that. So you don't have to like knot the bow around or wrap the bow around. It just basically goes over this front section. Then you're gonna take both of the sections together and you're gonna hold them together and use your third band. This is what's going to lock this bow in place so that the bow doesn't come off. So then you're gonna take both sections together and wrap it once and then wrap it twice. So that way it is nice and put together and held together and your bow is nice and safe. All right, so basically that's what I do. Now, after I put the top knot in, I also take a Christensen rat tail comb. It has the nice point on the end, and I will lightly put it in at the corners while I am holding my bow and just pull the areas out, because you don't want any tension on the eyes at all. So if their eyes look slanted at all, if they don't look their normal shape, then you know that your top knot is pulling somewhere that it shouldn't be pulling. So you just take this rat tail comb and you go around and you just loosen up the areas, being very, very careful, all the way from the outer corner to the middle, so that you have a nice poof and nice relaxed eyes. All right, and that is it. So that is the morning routine. Of course, this took me longer because I'm explaining everything than it usually takes me, but to be honest, it does take at least 15 to 20 minutes when I do this. I just make sure that I wake up 15 to 20 minutes earlier so that I can clean her face and make sure that she is nice and beautiful every day. Right, Stassi? And then of course we get treats. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. I will try and leave the links to all of the products that I got. If not links, I will tell you the names and where I got them. I am not an affiliate for any of these products at all. I just use these products every single day and love to share exactly what I do so that you can keep your Shih Tzu or other long-coated breed just as pretty as Stassi is. All right, so we hope you have a great day wherever you are, and we will catch you on the next video. Bye. Say bye, Stassi. You want a treat? You want a treat? All right, let's go get a treat. Bye, guys. Have a great day.